I can only reach so far. Last row! Now you know one of my biggest fears. For the last 2 years, I've been on an incredible journey of learning how to build my dream home and homestead from scratch, to learn how to become more self-sufficient and to also build on a budget. It took me a whole year to develop the land and get ready for the home build. The concrete is in, the framing is up, and last week I left you off with getting most of the ice and water shield on the roof. I have to quickly finish that off. I have to nail this plywood to the subfascia, and you can see up here there's some overhang that I have to cut off, and same with right up there. There's things I don't look forward to. I'm like very high up right now. At least I'm hooked in, and I'm gonna make that tighter. And thanks to the mouth tripod, you get to see a little bit of my experience. Oh my gosh. Immediate struggles. Okay. That was hard enough. I don't know how I'm gonna cut this. Oh, okay. What do I do? I can only reach so far. One more time. I did it. It's not like clean or straight, but I'd rather it be cut a little bit further back and be a little bit wonky than there to be an overhang, because you're not supposed to have an overhang for the drip edge. Okay, that's done. Now to nail it. Starting the rows and the setup of like this bump out is what's taking so long, but I'm getting there, and I'm gonna just time lapse this, get the rest of this done as quickly as possible and move on so you guys can see the final product. So that part's done. I just need one more strip at the top, but I need one more roll of ice and water. But I have some for this side pre-cut, so I'm gonna get working on that. And of course, it's a little bit more tricky with that overhang. It's time to take a break and relax. I don't normally do this here. I normally actually take a break and relax at home. So at the end of a long day after putting our daughter to bed, I have needed a transition period where I do something that's just for me before I start editing my videos in the evening, and that's been Hay Day. It's really fun because it's a homesteading game. Early in the day I can plant crops, and when I put her to bed I can harvest the crops, I can sell them, I can get my materials to make my like silo bigger or my barn bigger, and I can sell my crops and make money to buy more animals. It's been really fun and super relaxing. I'll show you as I collect the baked goods I baked last night. Got some cornbread and some regular bread. I can sell all of this stuff that I have grown or produced in my factories, and it comes back with the money so that I can put the money towards growing my homestead. Hay Day is a completely free app in the App Store or on Google Play, so go check it out, linked in my description, and build an amazing farming and homesteading oasis. Who knows, maybe I'll sell you some cornbread. It is Saturday, we are back. I have Cam here.
Yeah, you do.
And we are about to get the last like 4-ish rows done, which is great. And then the roof is fully like waterproofed.
No. No, I'm primed and ready. I wasn't napping.
Cam is gonna help me on this side. So woo! Now it's gonna be less sketchy. Oh no. You clamp it at the top level. Like an inch enough to overlap the ply and a bit of the subfascia. Okay. So what I'm doing with this top piece here is I'm cutting the strip off so that when we go to put the drip edge, I can put like a strip over the drip edge. So might as well not waste. Last row. I'm so excited. I'm so done with this. And after some frustration, it is done. The roof is completely waterproofed until we can get the steel on it. A lot of different things to finish up this week, but one of the main things I want to work on is the window openings. I have to make sure that I put the right things around the window to get the windows to be secure and watertight. I need to create a window buck that's going to go in behind this house wrap. That window buck is going to be the same thickness as the exterior insulation that I'm putting all around the exterior of the home. I have phoned so many people to figure out how to do this the proper way, and I finally have an answer that'll work for the code that is required in my area. The code that requires your house wrap to overlap the top flange of the window, and the code that requires a continuous R5 insulation on the exterior of our home. 2 pieces of 1/2 inch plywood is the same thickness as this insulation. I'm gonna have to rip a bunch of plywood. Super fun. Time to put the strapping underneath the house wrap. So the way this is gonna work now is I gotta do a strip of the butyl tape, then a strip over the sill, and then a strip here, a strip here, a strip under this flap, and then that flap is gonna fold over the nailing flange and get taped to the nailing flange. The water is always flowing down and away from the building. The tricky part is it would have been way easier to actually put the insulation underneath the house wrap. Where I have it right now, it's gonna take me a little bit of extra time to get it all sorted. Basically gonna have to do this, staple it here and here, and have the butyl tape overlapping the house wrap. Also wanna make sure that the windowsill is out of level so that the water, if there was ever any water to get on here, it would flow out. I have little gaps here. I just have to come back and get those horseshoe shims. I have a feeling I'm going to get a lot of questions about why I'm wrapping my windows the way I am and why I'm not using house wrap to wrap around the inside of my windows. In our area, you will fail inspection if you wrap your house wrap around the inside of your windows. From what I understand, moisture and air will enter your home more easily if you wrap your house wrap around the inside of your window. So I'm using blueskin, and you always start at the bottom and work your way up so there's always positive overlap, and water and moisture can always flow down without getting trapped. The absolute least amount that you want to do is just to cover the bottom, below the windowsill and the windowsill. But I'm going to cover all of my edges starting from the bottom and working my way up so that I have positive overlap and the water can always flow down and away from the home. And now it's time to do the strips here. And they don't need to overlap to the inside of the window frame. Time to do the top row underneath the flap, and then it's ready for install. And then when you install the window, you put the flap over the top nailing flange, you tape it, and you tape the corners as well. This little Bambi. Aww. I have a rip in the house wrap here, so I'm just like fixing it all up and getting it stapled back up. I'm thinking I could probably just tuck this in behind the wood and wrap the blueskin over it. I think that works just as fine. And then the house wrap is like tight in behind the wood. Realizing some things and why I didn't put the house wrap behind the bucking, and it's because water can get trapped behind it. I'm realizing I shouldn't have done it on the top layer, especially because I need to get the butyl tape underneath this and like do my cuts up the side. I don't know what I was thinking. I'm not gonna tuck the house wrap behind for any of the other ones. So silly, I didn't think of that. Well, this officially broke. This one is officially done and fixed. And my third deer today. So the rest of the day, I'm just going to cut a bunch of wood and get everything prepped. One of the things that I love about doing this build is I get to make the decisions like using scrap wood to buck out all of my windows. There really isn't a super easy way to do it because there's no such thing as exact 1-inch lumber. I don't have any full-length sheets left. I would have to get a new full-length sheet to do this, so instead I'm just doing math and piecing things together. Good morning. I'm having a really hard time with like finishing this task because I find it really boring. I have strips cut for 1, 2, really only 2 windows. I'm gonna get the bucking around that and keep working away, really. Well, that just gave me adrenaline pulling back a piece of house wrap and finding what looks like a murder hornet or some ginormous hornet, and I'm allergic. Not like severely, but I like swell. It's very cold and dazed and confused. I could probably kill it. Okay, I can do this. I'm gonna kill it. I'm sorry if you don't like that, but probably gonna die this winter anyways. Okay, I did it. Hey, bud. Hi. Here's some better nature. They greet me almost daily now. I was setting up for the next window and there's another hornet, like right tucked into the house wrap. Fly away. Now you know one of my biggest fears. I hope that's the last one of the day. Another window done. It's already the end of my day, which I can't believe. This has been so tedious cutting the plywood. I am nearly done. I got more wood cut. I got those 2 windows done, and I have decided I'm gonna buy 1 sheet of plywood from Home Depot and do the strips here on this wall, just because I don't have any big pieces left and it's gonna be too many small strips. Good morning. Okay, so yesterday I went to Home Depot and I'm so excited to show you this. So he literally cut all of them into 3-inch strips for me. And that saves me so much time. Like, I'm so happy. Now I can use my miter saw and cut them to the right length that I need. And I picked up my new work boots. They're the same as the last ones, they're just a different color. All right, I have most of the strips cut for bucking out the windows. The only thing is on this wall, this strip still needs OSB. Time to look for something that is going to fit it. It's getting a bit tricky to find anything in this pile. There's one. I have most of the bucking up around the windows on this wall, and now I'm thinking I have to choose what material is going on this wall. I've been going back and forth between stucco and vinyl and wood. I'm having a really hard time. I feel like if I did stucco on this feature wall, it would look really cool, but my concern is that it's such a small space that I'm worried the stucco would eventually fall off a lot more easily than just like a solid wall with a window in it. Okay, right now it does look really silly because I'm not going to have trim around my doors and my windows. So the goal with the inside of the bump out that's going up in the soffit here and back down, I would really like that material to be like a wood, a darker wood or a medium toned wood going along here and up. Everything else around here is going to be black. So I think it'll be really nice to have a wooden feature, but I still would like this to be black. And I really think stucco would be so nice because it would be just like really nice and textured and it would be completely flat, right? There'd be no horizontal lines at all. So I could go with that same wood colored siding along this whole wall, but I still want it to be black. So I could make it black. And it's going to be wood siding. So if I'm doing wood siding, I need to also have strapping, which is why I'm needing to make this decision now. Because if I don't add the strapping, I can't do wood, whereas you don't need strapping for vinyl. I think I'm going to pause on this wall. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. Would you go with a straight up stucco on that wall so it's nice and flat? Or would you go with horizontal siding? And here's a mock-up of one of the siding companies. They sent me this image of another home who did something similar with the cedar wood going up and then the same wood but painted black going across the front wall there. Time to buck out the next window. All right, last window for this week. Oh shoot, I don't have house wrap up yet. I forgot I totally forgot I was going to bring the scaffolding on this side and this was going to be the last window that I do because I need to put the house wrap up here still. And that's going to be too tricky to do with my ladder. I don't know, maybe I can try it. I'm gonna try. After working a bit longer, I think what I'm gonna do is go with wood siding on the front here, black, and then do the same wood siding here on the side. But that just means that I absolutely do need more strapping. I just need to do 1x3s, so I don't need to actually cut them down. But this is gonna have to wait for next week. Thank you so much for joining me this week. Be sure to check out Heyday. It's a free app linked in the description. And with that, I will see you next week. This is not what I wanted. I'm just really frustrated. I was just trusting that everything would be okay, but this is like the 4th time that this has happened in the build. If you ever build, don't make this mistake.